Chapter 13 of Predictably Irrational, Ariely discusses dishonesty and the process of making ethical decisions.
The text explains how humans are prone to dishonesty as a whole. Kahneman's concept of System 1 and System 2 gives insight into why we may make these decisions.
Since we typically use System 1, we often make quick and shallow decisions, which are often unprocessed and instinctive. So making the decision to take a pen from work only requires the effort of System 1 and leaves out the ethical factors of System 2.
But when making harder decisions like cheating on the ACT, our System 2 is more likely to kick in and cause us to consider ethical factors.
A study by Welsh and Ordonez claimed that priming ethical content can activate personal standards and increase attention to moral standards. So, when we are primed with an ethical guideline, our System 2 activates, and we are more likely to consider our own personal moral codes.
In another study by McClintock and Lieber, they found that social values from others were just as important to our decision-making as our personal values. Like ethical guidelines, the actions of others around us can prime us to use System 2 to help us make better decisions.
Instead of relying on the Ten Commandments or social reminders, we can practice mindfulness as an everyday buffer for ethical decisions. In a study by Journal, they found that social workers who practice mindfulness activities, such as yoga, deep breathing, or journaling, increase their likelihood of making ethical decisions in their everyday work.
I feel like a better person now.
I do too. While mindfulness can sharpen our ethical decision-making ability, if the consequences of the decision are less favorable than making the right choice, we will often side with dishonesty. Lyon, Saywitz, Kaplan, and Dorado studied the effects of consequences on children's willingness to tell the truth.
So, if the consequence of telling the truth means life in prison, while the consequence of lying means being free, people are much more likely to lie.
For everyday ethical decisions, activating our System 2 can be an effective way to ensure we are following our moral codes. We can activate our System 2 by using overt moral reminders like oaths and the Ten Commandments, or we could simply evaluate our personal values and decisions by comparing them to the values of others in our social environment.
Additionally, we can practice mindfulness activities like yoga or journaling as a way to focus on our own moral codes. Either way, activating our System 2 can ensure that we make honest, ethical decisions in our daily lives.